conspires to bring the right energy together here, right? And you always find exactly what you need when you're here. And no matter how many times you try to explain it to somebody else or tell them why they need to visit the forest or what they're gonna love about the forest here, it's never the same thing. You just have to trust the universe to bring it to them and to bring it to you. So I'm happy to get to meet you guys here.
Hostel in the Forest, recorded March 1st, 2025. These are the voices of this unique night. Co-host Elise Shepherd of Evolve Holistic Studios in Macon, Georgia. Check her out. Special guests Elliot Elf, Rod the World Traveler, Tejinder Panwar, and more elf voices come in. This is a live show. Deep thoughts and silliness commence. These are elves in the hostel in the forest. Deep thoughts and silliness. Elves in the hostel in the forest. In a podcast? What? Deep thoughts and silliness commence. The hostel in the forest. Go check out their website. It says some of this cool stuff, like Tom Dinard opened its doors to travelers from around the world on July 4th, 1975. It's still going. Hundreds of loving hands have gone into making the hostel what it is today, which is amazing. I'm glad I got to put my hands there into the earth and connect with the plants and touch the soil. Yeah, this area is unique in so many ways, with lush, dense subtropical forests containing palms, saw palmettos, magnolia, cedar, holly, pines, myrtles, huge live oaks draped with Spanish moss contrasting with broadleaf evergreens, resurrection ferns, the coiling cinnamon ferns, boardwalks that you can walk and traverse
Check
over
the forest
swamps.
sounds, Elf.
Over 300 species of birds have been known to visit this coastal region annually. Talk about forest sounds, you silly elves. And dozens of species of reptiles and amphibians make it their home. In recent times, the hostel has evolved into a spiritual retreat center and education facility. The emphasis is on nature, serenity, and peaceful surroundings. It's a membership organization, so you can become a member. We do not present any programs or hand out any literature to tell you what to believe. We do not allow any religious groups to use the hostel, nor do we permit anyone to attempt to convince you that their spiritual path is the right one to follow. We have no answers to help you find spiritual enlightenment. What we do offer is an environment for you to find your own path through retreats, workshops, and the daily life of a community focusing on sustainable and ecological science, alternative building, and organic gardening and holistic practices. Let's go. This is awesome. This is a very unique night. Let's get into it.
Sometimes the fiercity is overwhelming. Break. Yeah, we don't want to break
the crystal balls. We got a master piano player with us right now too, which is wonderful. Ladies and gentlemen, boys, girls, everyone. I want to welcome. First up here, we're going to be welcoming Elliot. Elliot is going to share a poem. Elliot and I, we elfed out and made a whole new game of chess the other day. Rise of the Pawns. It was so much fun. So, Elliot, would you like to come up to this microphone right here?
Yeah.
That sounds good. Whoa. There's some cool echo.
Do you like the echo? So this is my story.
So excited.
It all started on May 1st, 2058, my 17th birthday. At first, it was fine, but then it got crazy. There was fire, bombs. It felt like the whole world was a bomb. It was terrible.
You gotta tell us about this. What's going on right now? What do you guys...
Yeah, I'm so curious about that. So tell us about some of your feels in that. Well, the other book I was writing, I got lots of chapters that were just 1 page long, so it should have been just pages instead of chapters. Well, it was technically about school, a science fair. Yeah, I haven't gotten to the real good part. But in this one, I just wanted to make something cool and exciting.
Cool. It is exciting. You have some drawings on there too.
Yeah. One has a flame, one has a earth with a bomb inside it, one's a mushroom cloud with some airships.
Wow.
Describe the airships to people. They're really fascinating. What keeps them inflating?
Hot air.
Wait, what did you say?
Hot air.
Hot air. Okay. How do they make the air hot?
Fire?
Fire.
Yeah.
They just pull that out of their pocket?
I don't know, maybe they have a machine that makes fire, or they heat up something really dry and then it gets caught on fire.
Ignite. That sounds good. That makes sense, so they get little tiny particles of things and they put them all together and brush into a little spot and then get the right measurements and then they can ignite it and then it makes the hot air.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Like a hot air balloon.
Do you think that you're having a good time in this forest?
Yes, I love it.
Tell us about your forest experience.
Well, one of my favorite parts is the labyrinth and the lake. The lake has cute little baby frogs that aren't quite tadpoles. Yeah, they just look like frogs that are shrunken. They're really cute. And the bats come out at night. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
The sunsets are really pretty. You can see Orion.
How do you notice Orion? What makes you be able to notice it?
Well, I noticed the 3 stars all next to each other.
Cool.
Yeah,
The little belt.
Yep.
Yeah, thanks for sharing so much. Your poem is amazing. Everybody, let's, give a round of applause for Elliot. I'm so excited. Wait, fire back again.
Wow.
Building connections and community with coming at me with more questions than I can even ask. And I've been asking how does she coming at me with so many questions I can ask? I love these questions
All the
and where
questions.
they go and they open up these doorways and stuff. And I'm so curious. So yeah, first off, love to hear you share some of you've shared some of these things with me, but let's share it with some of these people, some of these projects that you're working on with community connection and, helping. You're an encouraged support creature.
I am. I love to encourage everybody, right? That's what we do best. So, what else? We have.
Now let's go easy questions.
Yeah.
Part. Yeah.
Perfect. I love that. Now I can hear myself even better. So, yeah, I have some like creative co-working spaces for holistic practitioners. So, massage and stretch therapists can come together and, kind of work in a co-working space and, other kind of fun projects like that. That's just my favorite these days.
I love that. Yeah.
So what kind of questions
Questions.
do you think that we could ask the universe today?
That's a good, what is the intention of the question? It's like the question as that formulates has its own questions that go into a certain flow.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to be really intentional about choosing that intention, I think, right?
I think that would be it sounds intense. I know it sounds intense. But the intention is there.
Intense intention.
Yeah.
Intention, intense, or huts.
And no. Intention, no.
No.
Yeah, I like when it's doing this too. It helps, right?
Yeah. I like your setup you have here.
Yeah, thanks. Being a little bit, since I puffed it out, these could be a little bit taller for this chair setup, or we could even push this forward. It might be good. Let's get comfortable.
Either way, you want to sit down? All right, let's sit on the back. Ooh, that's going to be edited out. No, so let's sit on the floor. It feels more conversational, right, when we're sitting in the floor. Okay.
Yeah, we're sitting in, this is like fun.
The library.
This is audio, right? We're in this library and it's like a cool bubble shape out here. And there's little creatures and big creatures that have been playing and crawling all over the place, and there's balls bouncing, and there's food carts going around, and there's live painters. And
that's the festival.
Well, look out here. Look,
there is a painter, though. We do have a live painter.
Yeah, they're alive. Very much so.
Oh my gosh, you're right. And a juggler?
We've had poets up in here, already. This is getting good.
It's getting deep here.
Yeah. There's good connections happening in this forest.
So what is this room? This is my favorite room here. I think it is the library, but also the music room. So there's so many instruments. Have you counted them? How many instruments do you think are in this room?
Wow, I was going I started counting them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I was just there's a bunch of them. Yeah.
There's a bunch of drums.
And then I was there's a bunch there, there's a bunch there, and then I found myself going, there's one bunch, there's two bunches, there's three bunches, and then I was there's a bunches of instruments.
There are several guitars, lots of drums, all kinds of shapes of drums too, right?
Yeah.
Which one's your favorite?
There's a very circular shaped one that's maybe 1 or 2 deer knuckles over in thickness, and it's got a wonderful tone to it.
Yeah.
I love this creature that plays piano too. It's I feel like it is picking up just enough, to pick up some of the sound effects and frequencies of this place. Yeah.
It is. There's another instrument here that we're playing with all of them, obviously, but this one only has two
strings, right?
Yeah. It's crazy.
It's gorgeous.
It is.
You know why?
Why?
Because it's made out of a gourd.
Gorgeous.
That's why it's so gorgeous. And get this, it's got a hook to it too.
Oh.
On the top of it, there's this moon-shaped
the hook brings you back.
Yeah, I think it's what you do. It's actually an ancient fishing instrument that you would perform a certain song with the two notes that would entrance the fish, and then with the hook on the other end, you would catch them, and then you could, feed your family.
Yeah.
It was a wonderful time in which musicians, were doing different things like that. But you can also use it as a garden hoe too, as well, and get in between little thin rows of carrots. And play music that entices the pollinators and causes them to have joy and glee. And some of them, may even be found drawing pictures of the garden from little leaves and little mushroom shelves underneath the canopy of the foliage.
That would be nice. I think that's what's painted on the front of that, actually. Just a whole representation of that whole description.
That whole foliage zone.
Yeah.
I got to the word foliage and I just had to pause.
It's a great
fun
word.
to say, right?
It's a really good word. Foliage.
Yeah.
Foliage.
Hey, how you guys liking the foliage out there?
Do you know what that means? No? It's like the leaves. All the leaves in the trees.
Is she trying to foliage us?
Huh.
You trying to foliage me?
Look, so in the realm of instruments, there's also washpan. Look at the washpan over there.
Oh,
What?
I was using that for doing my laundry.
Oh, well,
I
you could
thought-
use it for both. That's really,
Wow.
that's the most magical thing about a washboard is that you can wash your clothes with it and it makes beautiful music.
Yeah, I
If
was
you know
playing
how.
the dryer drum earlier.
Okay.
And somebody told me it was a dryer. You know, I thought it was an instrument. I was in the wrong room. It was first day. You know,
First
there's
day.
like little first
You
day
didn't know.
things. You gotta figure it out. You
Right.
know, and
It takes time,
yeah,
really.
you know, it's a very wonderful, beautiful place where you get to connect and talk with people. And like, yeah, that's some of my questions. You know, like. You got to answer some questions. You took me down some different trails here that went to some of the wonderful places.
We did. So what is your favorite place so far here in the forest?
I really like the swing.
Yeah?
The swing is pretty fun.
It's a great swing. It's a long swing from an oak tree with all of the Spanish moss, something out of a fairy tale, I think. But you can't go too high, right? It's a little wobbly swing.
Wobble.
But it's worth it. I think it's
Yeah.
worth it.
Yeah, you know, you get a lot of good, like, wind in your hair. There's something about, like, your hair, like, your head getting wind flying past it, and just that joy of looking around, seeing all the moss, and, yeah, it's been good.
It has been
Yeah.
good. It's also one of my favorite places in the forest. So. Welcome, welcome. We have more people coming in to hang out with us and sit.
Oh, they're crawling all over in the balconies, up in the little, like, see these little star-shaped patterns inside this
I
geodesic
do.
dome? Do you notice how there's, like, some that are, like, sided forms and some that are, like, 5-sided forms? Like, sometimes you can put, like, all the 5-sided forms together and then they, like, end up making the 6-sided form just, like, by association with each other.
I see that.
And then, like, they got these little balconies up there full of little people, and, like, there's little fairies that are climbing around, and it's amazing.
Fairies and elves, I think we've seen both today.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad all the people that wanted to telepathically come and join us for this show, as well as all the people that are here present in real life. We got microphones. We got one of the world's best piano players jamming over here. We got, you know, this is Forest Talk. We're definitely open, to Elise is going to stay up and join me in co-hosting. We got extra microphones and we're ready to, share. I definitely want to hear more about you, and I know you got questions for me too.
I do.
So I'm open to that too.
Okay.
But yeah, I just want to make sure everybody's, feels included and ready to jump in if they want.
Yeah, so I think we should talk about art because that's one of the most important things about the forest. There are so many amazing visual artists represented here, but also we're sitting in the room full of all of these instruments and all of these beautiful people. I'm sure someone knows how to play instruments. Everyone,
Play,
no one.
play, play, play.
Okay.
Play.
The piano,
Play.
the piano that we have here is nearing its last leg. I think we had some discussions about it today, and it may be almost ready for a repurpose, which, is sad over time, but also look at how much joy this piano has already brought to everyone here. And they'll be able to replace it with a new one soon. So, what one song can you play on the piano? I love a Shanti tune. Let's see if we can hear it.
Yeah.
You can just set that wherever.
There's a lot of keys on that piano that don't work. You got to be really adaptable and just find these whole different places. And there's some that have really special, interesting sound effects.
So I have a fun story. There is a cushion on the ground over there that she's laying on and coloring as our live visual artist here. I brought that to the forest, 8 years ago, probably. And it's still here, and people are still enjoying it and sitting on it.
Wow.
It's pretty neat. I just saw it today.
So cozy.
Right? It's a great spot here.
We're like on a do you feel like we're like on some like the back of a cicada or like grasshopper flying through the saw palmetto?
Oh, I think you're right. I can see it now. I feel it. This is a fun adventure.
It sounds right in here. It's not coming in too intense.
Okay.
Just saying. Yeah.
All right, so
I love the garden here.
the garden.
How about the
yes.
garden here at the forest? The garden's like where the sun comes down and touches, and the people have made so much good compost and built up all that soil. And
Yeah, they're growing some great things. I can't wait because it's February, right? So now's the time we get to come and look at all of the work that they're doing. But in a few months, we'll come back and it'll be a whole full garden full of amazing food and nourishing things that we get to enjoy. I'm excited about
so
that.
yum. I'm excited to like see what was out there today. There was chickweed and there was mustard greens that we were nibbling. I love how the chickweed even just like shows me the sign of how healthy the soil is. You can tell like if it's got bigger leaves and it's juicy like how it was today,
Yeah.
that the soil is like feeding and full of nutrients, whereas when the leaves are tinier and like they're more dried out looking, like sometimes you'll see chickweed growing out of like a sidewalk crack where it's got, the bare minimum is doing its thing.
Yeah.
It's getting it going on, but it's just not like the one you want to eat because it's not going to be full as many nutrients, but it's also telling you its little thing about the story there. It's like, hey,
Can thrive anywhere, really.
we're trying to just grow and deposit what nutrients we can here and build up some soil and overgrow. What? Overgrow.
Doing the real work. So, and you built something today. So tell us about that. Tell us about your project.
Today I was doing some boo weaving. I took some of the native river cane that's over there and found a patch that was really large enough and talked to the land manager here about what they would feel good about me cutting on, and of course the ones along the path. And it makes sense to harvest something in a way that's like also doing other things. It's keeping the path open for people, but it's also opening up light for the patch to be able to collect more sunlight and grow and continue to grow.
Right.
It's you just you kind of look up into it and see where the sunlight hits, and you can kind of pull out and thin it in a certain way, and it's kind of like they're all little solar panels collecting that solar energy, and where they start over covering each other, it's where they start getting tight, and they don't grow as much in those areas. They kind of just go kind of stagnant, and they just wait until some kind of tree branch or some other kind of pattern like that breaks up that cycle. So that's what I was doing. I was going in there, breaking up that cycle. I was bringing in some destruction, into this kind of thing, but then weaving it into some form that, creates some beauty. And, you're into theatrics and whatnot. So yeah, it was like a theatrical performance. I didn't use hammer or anything. I just used a large rock to smash the oak spires down into the ground. And yeah, it was fun.
It's fun. It's a whole performance art. I love this.
It's such a way to spend time and process things and think about stuff. And
I think the earth helps you in that way when you're able to put your hands on things and create something new from all of the little pieces of things that you find in the forest that the earth has given you. And then you create something brand new with it. Brand new. So, what else? Are you going to build anything else while you're here? Or are you going to come back and do other kinds of projects?
Yeah, it's something like that. And it's, it's a flow. I'm a student of the now. I feel like there's a lot of people studying the present moments right now. And I'd love to come back. I love to create more here with the artists that are here. I mean, every little nook and cranny of the forest here is full of so much intentional touch and art and growth of, developing their skills and coming here and be able to have time to write, to draw, to journal, to think, to be a creature of the earth and just feel free to be allowed to be in a space of yourself and loved and cared for. And
yeah, it brings us back to intention. It really does, because everything that we do, we get to decide what kind of energy we bring to it. Even if it's cooking dinner, do we come and help and think, oh, we got to hurry up and finish and get this done? Or do we intentionally get to decide that we now get to help nourish everyone for dinner tonight and share in that kind of gratitude, But it's always hard to be intentional about those kind of things because life takes over. So what are your favorite things that you like to do to align with yourself so you can be more intentional about your gratitude?
I think some of the things for me that bring in a healthiness to my intentionality, I like having fun. I think bringing the fun aspect to a lot of things. I can't remember everybody's names right now, but one of our new friends that's doing some live art here, we were talking about how there's this intention, wow, I just did a head flip where I was trying to think of names. Where did we just come from? And it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
I'm so here right now. What were we just talking about?
So we're talking about the kinds of things that you do to align with yourself so you can be more intentional about the gratitude and everything and all the projects that you do.
Yeah.
So what's your favorite way to...
So one of the things with the fun part, we were talking about, that's why it connected to me.
The fun.
The fun part, there's some intentionality of I want to make sure this is fun. This is my life. It might be you're doing your taxes for yourself, but how can you make it fun? There's fun ways to do it and just kind of giggle through the numbers and, you don't have to let them affect you so whole much, as you're making your to-do lists and checking them off, how much fun is it to make your not to-do list, right?
Yeah.
That's what we were talking about. And, the not to-do list is great. You can, if you enjoy a to-do list where you get to cross the things off, you'll enjoy a not to-do list. Put things on there I'm not going to have a boring day today. It's
this.
You get to cross it off. You have that same feeling as you do when you do something you did do, and it's you can add comical stuff to it.
Yeah, that's being intentional. It's being intentional about giving yourself just these little tiny bits of joy just from getting. I love that. I love crossing things off a list. I'll write things on a list just to get to cross them off, so I can feel like I've accomplished something.
Yeah, I like that. Adding things into it, do something uncalculatable every day, on the to-do list, and kind of surprise yourself and do something maybe you're, instead of just walking to the mailbox, you skip there, and you don't normally skip there, but just kick it in, it's totally uncalculatable. We're these biological creatures, and it's I feel like that's an intention I try to have every day, some incalculable elfy behavior for myself,
Skipping's a really good one. So I heard if you don't skip over time, you forget how.
You just skip that? And
you skip it.
You just skip it.
Yeah, you skip it. That's so profound.
Wow. So I'm glad I'm remembering to skip.
Yeah. How many people, when was the last time everyone skipped in this room? I bet the kids can do it. Can you guys skip? When was the last time you skipped? Try it.
10 skips. You got a 10 skip kind of
I have to try.
We got skippers skipping. Yeah. Skip break.
So you forgot, but can you remember? So secretly what they're going to do is after we leave, they're going to go outside and try it without anyone watching just to see. Yeah, skip to your hut.
chat
Sorry.
room. You could skip it and do something totally incalculatable because now we're like calculating that you're gonna skip somewhere, and you're like overthinking it already. You gotta just like keep going, skip it. Hey, come up here. Come up, please.
Come talk with us.
Come talk with us.
That's what we love.
We want to be able to. We want the audio listener to be able to hear your words, which are going to be fun.
What do you like?
Oh my God.
Welcome.
Look, I'm getting old.
Please share your name or however you want to be in this conversation. And
Hey,
welcome.
my name is Tej. By roots, I'm from India, but by heart, I'm from Charleston now. And when we were just talking about skipping, and I just couldn't, stop myself
Yeah.
talking into it, and it's weird, but I just realized, we used to skip, and we used to skip a lot, and today I just realized, I don't know when we just stopped skipping.
When do we stop?
Yeah.
I don't know.
We don't know, right?
We don't know.
Yeah.
I
It's
mean,
just like life transformed
yeah.
from a phase to another phase, and sometimes you just realize, not realize, you still think you're young, everything is the same, and then when you start thinking about it in a deeper way, and then you said, hey, skipping is one of the example. Hey, we stopped skipping, we stopped playing hide and seek.
Right. Red Rover.
Yeah.
When you play Red Rover, I don't know. I think it gets a little harder to play Red Rover with adults. It's a
We
little
stopped.
rougher. Hide and seek. We should play hide and seek in the forest.
I'm never gonna stop skipping. Skip forever.
We just stopped running behind or after the ice cream.
After the ice cream man in the
man.
truck. Yeah.
Yeah, the ice cream trucks and the ice cream man, and
So this is actually really fun. One of my great friends had his 40th birthday party, and he decided he wanted to do something totally different. So he got a bouncy house and a cake and ice cream, and it was just like a 7-year-old birthday party all over again for his 40th birthday, and it was the best. And an ice cream truck even came around the corner. It was like the universe knew exactly what we were doing. It was the best day. And when was the last time? I can't jump in a bouncy house, and I think I'm beyond that, but I can skip. So I did skip all the way. I don't know if I did, but I probably skipped all the way to the ice cream truck, because I will have an ice cream.
and yeah. The thing is, we can, but we just stopped.
Yeah.
And
Do you think you stopped
literally,
when you were like
I don't
20?
know an answer to that. Why did we stop?
Why?
Why? What things just took over that we stopped living? that
What
life?
is so important that you have to stop skipping for it?
I think
Besides a knee injury.
it's like
gravity changed.
nothing changes. It's like the world, they expect us to change,
Right.
They just want to force you into getting into some kind of responsibilities.
Right. It's a trick.
It's a trick.
They did trick us.
It's a trick.
Yeah.
But if you realize, you can skip.
Even to your
You can do-
responsibilities
and you can fulfill everything else.
while still skipping.
It's just like, it's I think that's why we are here.
Yeah.
Right?
So we can remember to skip.
or we can at least talk about it.
I skipped. I do still remember how to skip, and I was proud of that. So, I have to remember now to keep doing
You guys
it.
jump rope? Do you jump rope or do like the team jump roping, where you like stand in the
Like
middle?
double dutch?
And people are like, and they say different things and you jump up and down at different times.
I did when I was a kid, but I bought some not that long ago for my daughter. She's almost 10. And I was like, oh, her and her friends are going to love this. They don't love it. They just want to go play with their
iPads.
tablets. Yeah. I don't know.
And iPads with the latest games and one thing and something which made me realize we were in Busch Gardens, Tampa, and there were certain sports, there was a time I always wanted to do that and experience those thrills, those rides, but I couldn't afford it. And by the time now when I can afford it, I realized I'm too old.
You're never too old. You can ride rides. I get motion sick now that I'm an adult though, and that's a problem. Then it's not as fun anymore because then you spend all day trying to recover from one ride.
Standing in the line or the queue, and
I mean, you can skip the line now too, because you're grown up, and you don't have to go in the line if you don't want to. You can go do something else. You can go walk out into the forest while everybody else gets in the line, right? You can skip it. Now we're learning how to skip different ways. We're skipping different things. We're jumping through different little hoops and having fun with it in different ways too. But it's good to climb the tree that last day that your body can.
Since you brought it, and I totally appreciate it. But do you realize it's totally unrelated? But when you are trying to board a plane, it's different lines and.
Yeah.
I was just thinking about it, Zone A, Zone B, Zone C, then priority, and then with the kids, and then...
It's always chaotic.
Yeah.
And different airlines, do it differently. So...
I don't know.
I like putting my phone on airplane mode. I have it right here. Look. You guys watch. This is how my phone goes into airplane mode. It goes into helicopter mode too. Watch this. And then there's rocket ship, spaceship mode you can put the phone into. Ready? And it went to outer space, really, believe me.
I had no idea that phones had that capacity.
Yeah, there's all kinds of switches and stuff, and you can download these things for free without even having to download them. It's fascinating, right?
It is.
But there's one thing I just want to tell to the listeners.
Yeah,
Okay.
I love it here.
It's we are so blessed just to be alive.
Sure.
Yeah. And just enjoy.
I'm grateful. I don't want to cut
Grateful.
people off, but sometimes I want to. And I just want to say I'm really grateful that we're alive at the same time too.
Yeah.
Right.
There's different time periods and all. People were alive at the same time, but this is our time. We're alive right now, and we get to do this.
This is our time. We are alive.
Yeah.
We're
We can do
talking.
this together.
Yeah, and we're doing it together. And there's harmony, there's love, there's affection, and who knows, million years back or million years down the line,
Maybe we'll do it again.
we'll do it again.
Yeah.
And
I'll meet you guys
in
there.
whole new fun ways.
and probably
Instead of doing a podcast, maybe I'll do a cast pod, or
Yes.
maybe you will, or maybe I don't know. Yeah, it's so cool. And like we were like some of it, we were talking earlier about the galaxy and how big it is, and like how each of our thoughts are the capacity of them existing for real on another planet somewhere, or even if our thought is not even on a planet, like, you know, there's like some saddle riding comet riders, you know, that are these creatures that ride comets. Like, okay, all of a sudden the galaxy is so big enough that exists out there somewhere, right?
Yeah. And
It's cool.
I would be, as you said, I totally agree to that. And I would be like, maybe a million years down the line, and people say, hey, you know what? Humans were smart 1,000 years or million years back. They used to have podcasts.
And listen to how smart they are.
Yeah, they were smart.
This will be the thing. They
Yeah.
listen back and say, "Oh, listen how smart they
And
were."
who knows? You know, they will say, we still don't have, we are the smartest people, we can travel faster than, the speed of the light, yes, but we don't know how to do podcast.
Right?
You know,
You never know. This might be
You
the
never
thing.
know.
Never know. This might be like the only one that survives, and like they pull it out of some like box and like find all these like archived recordings, right? And
Yeah.
they're looking through it, and then you just see them all look at each other and like hold their thumbs up and say like, and then one of them will come in and say scroll, and then they all walk away and go on to the next thing.
I always wonder that about like ancient
They used to have
civilizations.
Facebook.
No, oh my
A
goodness.
million years back. They used to have Facebook.
And MySpace.
Or Instagram. And how did these people manage to have that? We still don't know.
We still don't know.
Yeah, we can fly, we can ride faster than the light, but we don't know how to have a Facebook. You know, it's a technology.
It's really
It's
important.
a perception.
It is
Like
a perception.
I like making new friends, right? And then afterwards, seeing what they have for dinner. Like I want to see what their picture of what they're having for dinner. Like I remember one time my like internet went down for like a week, and I was like panicking. I had to like walk to a payphone and call my friend and be like, "Can you please at least describe like your dinner to me over the phone? Like I need to hear what somebody else's dinner looks like right now."
I know. When was the last time anybody used a payphone? I've definitely used a payphone before, but yeah, probably
Isn't it? Like,
probably more than that. We've had cell phones for.
I wish I can live that longer to listen to humans making comments like, were humans so smart enough? They had toilet papers?
Yeah. Well, so if you think about like old ancient civilizations, the things that usually survive are the art, right? The art, the architecture, and that's what we still find. Like, do you ever think like, was that one piece of art that we found just like one guy on the side of the cave that was like, haha, watch this? Like, he wasn't even that serious about it, but that's the thing that survived, right? And so now we base everything that we know off of these societies on someone who is like just doodling on the wall.
We know about these humans is like this now.
Right.
We've been studying them for a while. They really fancy some of our study techniques, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, like
That's
like it's been fun to like start changing the climate on the planet so that more of us can come and visit. I've developed microplastic, like a new organ in my body that helps process microplastics. And when like the sun's rays go to a certain, this is fiction, certain ray, you know, like all of a sudden like I get this coating on my skin and it like helps protect me from the sun. This is fiction. And like, you know, it's fun, you know, it's like what if like all the ecology adapts to it, you know, and over time like we just adapt to it, and like there's certain plants that spit out little microplastics to keep it in the cycles and flows because, you know, it becomes like it's there.
who knows? Did humans?
Do you know?
No. Did humans had kidneys
I don't know. Maybe they
thousands
didn't.
years back?
Maybe they didn't, but we adapted to have
We
kidneys.
adapted, as you said. Maybe thousands years down the line, we might have two levers. One is
Yeah.
the regular, one is, as you said,
Have a backup lever.
microplastic and
Right.
the man-made. We will adapt to that. And,
Maybe we will.
but
Maybe not.
when we say
It's a 50-50.
so, there's a saying.
What are we looking at here?
What's the
We
saying?
can take it either way. Either we are too
Maybe there's a
gifted.
third way too. Like
Or
maybe
two.
like halfway we'll adapt to it and halfway not, and then we'll have
Yeah.
like we'll
and
like
the nature
figure
will
out-
take the toll.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah.
figure out how to like graft like palm tree roots under our legs to be able to walk through the sand or something easier.
Yeah. But
What's your saying?
anything is possible.
try that.
Yeah.
Anything is possible. We don't. But what I think is, nature and God, or whatever we can call religion, they have gifted us one thing, which can be a curse or it can be a cure. Is the humans are Augusta.
the humans. It's the
Oh, okay.
It's the humans.
When
It's the humans.
we, as a human, we are given with this power to be very adaptive to things. We can change. We are the most survivable species on this planet. We can survive in desert. And there's a specific term like resilient. We are like very resilient.
We are resilient.
And we can adapt. And we are also very. The beauty about being human is we are resilient and we are very adaptive. We can be resilient to things and we can be very adaptive.
But we were talking about this yesterday about how you can either run away from something or you can be called towards something new, right?
Yeah.
And it's always easier to transition when you stop and intentionally listen for that call
Yeah.
and follow the calling versus trying to say this is something I don't want and I'm just
Yeah.
moving to something else.
The mountains are calling, and I texted them back and said, "I'll get back to you later. I'm chilling in a swamp." That was fresh cut just for you swampy creatures here.
Like
I had a question for you. Would you share your experience, like walking with the chooks, the chickens, and the roosters and the ducks out here? Like you were sharing that moment. Would you be willing to share a little bit of some of that? That's like forest experience.
yeah.
For sure.
So, that's a very, I would say, like a mesmerizing situation. And, let me just think about it with the words. Let me just articulate it in a way so that people can just relate it. So,
But it bring us there a little bit too.
So, like today, I was just walking around and I was kind of happily lost. Happily lost in the sense like I had no idea where my wife is, where my kids are, but I knew they are somewhere here and they are safe. So I said, okay, that's an opportunity, just to explore
here.
and then just to be with the moment,
Yeah,
with
just fully present and
present
in what's
and
right happening
just-
around you.
yeah. Just experience what's going around. And so I was walking around and I don't see that baby girl around, probably her age, but she was there and she comes to me and she said, "Excuse me, are you one of the staff member?" I said, "No, but how can I help you?" And she said, I need someone to help me play my music in my room with my Bluetooth. And I was like, okay, I'm not that technically advanced or
You're like,
equipped. Oh, yeah.
I don't know
But
if that's the right
yeah, but
thing
I can
to
get
do here
you
right now.
and I can get you someone who can, help you out. So I got her to Augustine, please. No.
There was a little hive, a swarm of bees that just came through.
So after that, I was walking down. Sit. No.
But yeah, I don't want to get in the middle of
So-
that one. But you're getting
I
approached
was
about
just-
this
yeah. And-
thing of technology, and you're like coming through this forest, and you're just like, yeah, I don't know about that right now. And so then what
But
happened?
then I was walking down those steps. Go. So,
Sometimes that helps.
yeah. And as soon as I was just walking down those steps, I saw all those chickens, the cocks, the hen, like just
Wandering around the forest.
wandering, and they just came. They expecting I had some grains in my hand.
They're very
and
friendly chickens.
Friendly chicken, and I think they know how to
They do.
interact with humans.
They do. They love snacks.
Yeah,
So.
and they know. So I was with them, and then I was watching them, and I said, "That's just my personal opinion. Can I say that?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "Wow, like they're such a lovely creatures, and we eat them like chicken wings." No, I was thinking that's my real. I said, "Why? There's so many other things. How can I?"
We got people out here eating dogs. What's going on? I'm
Even though,
curious.
like,
Now you're
Audience
connected
is
to these
wild.
chickens, right?
And
Forest creatures.
They say sometimes like once you know a specific chicken, that's what Matt was saying earlier. Like once you know a specific chicken, you can taste their personality. So you
Yeah,
know you
yeah,
can't eat
yeah.
the chickens that were
Yeah.
your pets for sure.
that's what. Yeah,
You know.
exactly. That happened, and then I was standing and watching, and then I saw a couple of ducks, and they just walked like how ducks walk.
Waddle, waddle.
Like women
Waddle,
walking on a ramp show, like like a women
walk
like
away.
models, like models,
The
like
catwalk.
ramp walk.
Yeah,
They
little
were
catwalk.
just catwalk, and they just walked in. They looked, and then they just sat next to me, and they had their head into their body,
like
like
taking a little nap.
yeah, and then they just put their beak into their feather,
Like
and they
tuck it under
slept.
their wing.
Yeah,
Oh.
and they slept, and I said, wow, like do they have like? I felt like they had the trust, like okay, I can close my eyes and I can sleep with this.
Like they trusted you.
Yeah, trusted, but I was like, not just me, like as a human, I said, don't they know how cruel we humans are? And
These chickens don't.
how much destruction as humans we have done to this planet? And still, look at these. They still trust us.
They walk with us.
They walk with us, and probably,
Scratching around.
if not me, some other human will try to make money out of it. Or,
out of the chicken.
out of the chicken, humans try to make money out of anything, You need an opportunity. you will just try to make money out of it. And I was like, wow.
Yeah, I was trying to like hustle some chicken feathers. I didn't want to hurt them. I wanted them to keep staying alive. So while they were sleeping, I plucked all their feathers and I stuffed them in a sack. And I went downtown and I said, I got pillows for sale. And I made like $3. It was awesome.
Are you talking about like people like that guy?
I mean, there is a girl that comes to the forest all the time. She's amazing, and she used to make a lot of really cool art and jewelry out of the feathers from the chickens here. So she'd come, hang out in the forest, and then like collect some feathers from the chickens while she was here. Then she'd make earrings and things out of them and put them in the dome to sell.
Art, yeah. There's so many like art supplies
Yeah.
in the nature around us and the connections of exchanges. You know, I even saw some hair that like some of the birds were moving in the trees today. You know, they're around here starting to get a little nesty in spring zones, and the wrens are flying.
Yeah.
Flying.
We saw a really amazing giant bird out of the lake. I think it was an osprey, and it was really beautiful. That's one of my favorite animal sightings since I've
That
been
was
here.
amazing to watch
was.
fly over the water.
Yeah, that was a.
We were in Oz and we were praying, and the osprey came.
That's
From Oz.
great. Whenever I talked to my wife, she said, why do you like that place? And I said, that's my favorite place to go to. Mm-hmm. There's one in Everglades. And when you go into Everglades National Park,
Okay.
and you go way down south to Flamingo, there's a place. It's called Flamingo National. You been there, Rod? There? Oh, amazing! I saw like a couple of not alligators, crocodiles. They were there basking in the sun, and they were like relaxed. And she asked me, we had some kind of discussion, and she said, what's your favorite animal? And I said, I want to be a crocodile, just like this.
After a while,
Whoa, and
they
just
do
walk
look-
out, sleep, bask in the sun, enjoy the Florida weather.
Yeah.
And then if it's a hurricane,
Just go underwater.
I'm going in the water,
Right.
If you were a crocodile, would you eat a chicken?
Maybe I will at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like roll it around in your teeth to like
Because-
pluck the
But you
feathers
probably
out.
didn't make friends
Some
with
artists
Because
can make
I
stuff with them.
can have, if I would have been a crocodile in Everglades, I can have tacos.
Yeah.
No one will feed me
Gecko kebabs.
kebabs or so I'll eat. but-
Gecko sandwiches.
No.
Gecko.
no. But
Have you ever eaten gecko? What's what? I don't know. I just went into a new mode.
I have
What's
tried-
the craziest thing that you've ever eaten? That's like a
That's a
natural
good
thing,
As-
like from nature.
As an Indian, like Indian with the dot. Let me clarify it. The first time I ate anything
Gator pops?
was non-vegetarian when I was 24 years old. That's when I tried chicken the first time.
Okay.
But then after that, I have tried chicken, lamb, goat, frog.
Frog?
Frog.
How'd you like the
frog legs.
Being somebody that didn't eat a lot of chicken, you don't compare it to chicken, right? Like, what would you compare frog to?
Frog is very much similar to chicken.
It is chicken.
Yeah.
It is
I know, I
like
guess,
chicken,
like-
but
I
it's
guess,
just
like-
tinier. It's like a tinier chicken.
It's like you're eating a chicken wing.
Like a
Chicken
little
wing.
tiny chicken
You know,
wing.
really thin.
More,
one.
more.
There's like no meat.
More juicy, and
Yeah.
more. Yeah. And then I have tried alligators, like gator pops.
That alligator.
Yeah, and
Have you ever had
deer,
Gator
Let's see what
pops.
else.
I'm
Deer.
curious
I
about
do like
gator
deer.
pops.
venison.
Venison, or like wild boar. Wild boar and things.
No, I've tried
I haven't
pork,
too much
Yeah.
like
pork.
Yeah.
pork or wild,
Wild-
like.
What about coconut
I just
meat?
couldn't get
Coconut
into.
meat?
Huh?
Coconut meat? Do you like coconut meat?
Coconut meat? What's that?
He's looking at like a cocoa
No.
from a cocoa
When you
tree,
get
like
the coconut out of the tree.
okay.
and you get
know, it has the
the
milk.
meat out of
Yeah,
it.
the milk, the coconut malai.
Yeah, the meat.
Cream.
cream.
He knows. He might like you scrap the coconut cream.
Yeah.
And-
You scoop it out. And
Yeah,
they
scoop it
call
out.
meat, I think.
Yeah,
You like
Yeah.
that? Yeah.
Oh.
I like that kind of meat.
Yeah.
Do you like mushroom meat?
mushroom. Yeah.
Like chop up chicken in the woods or some like wild mushrooms? That
No,
sounds
no, no,
good
no.
right now. Actually.
Only from Costco.
Oh, okay.
We just grew some mushrooms at the house.
And
Tell us about
and,
that.
They
and,
were great.
and the adult mushrooms,
Yeah.
Okay.
Adult
Yeah.
mushrooms. Yeah.
which
I haven't grown those,
no, but I have tried
but I've tried them.
one
Like
time.
door portals and stuff like that.
You know, when the colors look more colorful, blue looks more blue,
Very
yellow
Bluer
looks
than
more yellow. You know,
How
it's
could
like-
yellow be even more
It's like-
yellower? It's amazing.
That's our. I've never seen that yellow.
I think it's
I've
just that
never
we
seen
don't
that blue.
access that part of like we could see what they actually were with these bright colors, but we just don't access that part of our brain often enough, and so
But-
that allows us to be able to open up our perceptions.
That was something not an eye opening, but I said how smart like our body is. If we can see that or those colors and we can listen to that music, why can't we just do it normally? So we are we are there, we are capable. Something triggers it.
Right. We just
And
have
we can
to
see
tap into it.
more yellow, more pink, more blue, more green. Every color, more music, more love.
But it's
towards-
there.
It's there.
Either whether we see it or not, it's there all the time.
It's there.
So,
It's there.
you
Right?
know,
Yeah.
it's a great way to sometimes be able to remember
Yeah.
that it's always there. You know,
You know, your iPhone looks more
iPhone.
clear.
I can't even look
Phony?
at it. Like,
I think my iPhone looks more phony.
Elise, will you tell us about like your growing some of your own mushrooms that you
Sure.
guys been eating? Like what mushrooms have you been
Yeah,
growing?
so we
and how's
just
that?
grew some. I think they were pink oyster mushrooms, which we
Cool.
got a really big flush this time, so
They're
it was
probably
really great.
pinker than pink right now. For
I just tried it once.
Yeah?
And I was like, either I need to get
Growing
to
them?
experience.
growing them, or
No, like.
or we
adult
went back.
mushrooms.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Hang on. Yeah. we'll go on that side trip in a second again.
Yeah, the ones that we grew, I actually got like the substrate from a farmer that I know that sells mushrooms at a farmer's market. So she had some extra substrate, like chunks. I don't know, they're blocks, I guess.
Yeah.
And so she had already gotten a flush off of them and knew that there still would be some more, but she is doing other things and has a lot of stuff going on. So she sold me just like a block of the substrate. And so we took it home and we did exactly what she said, which is like, you know, open it up and scratch it a little bit and spray it with water. And we're waiting for this to happen. And we had these little tiny mushrooms pop up and I was so proud. I'm like, look at our mushrooms. And then they just quit. That was it. They just like immediately dried out and died. And we're like,
Oh.
so then we had this is really crazy. Like, I don't even know if this is, I mean, it turned out okay, so I'll tell you guys what happened. But so we also do tie-dyes, and part of our process when we're dyeing is that we soak or spray our shirts in soda ash water. So it's like soda ash mixed with water, and we have that spray bottle back in the sunroom where we're growing mushrooms, you know, where our plants are too. And so Derek picked it up and accidentally, instead of being the regular water spray bottle, it was the soda ash water spray bottle, and he sprayed it with that instead, and they started growing like crazy. And so we had this huge, big flush. It was like giant. It was like the size of, it's like
way bigger than my head grew out of them, and they tasted so delicious. We put some on a pizza. We roasted some. We fried some. You know, we just had to try them in all the different ways,
And
right?
everything looked so colorful.
Yeah. No, those were, you know, they were very meaty. Like it was like eating a steak mushroom because they actually turned out really large. I don't know.
Yum.
But anyway, that's my only
Steak.
time I've grown mushrooms, and now it's happened. So
We just tried
Hey,
it
it's
once.
fun, guys.
yeah.
And
So now, yeah, we're going to talk about one time that you saw the colors.
Yeah,
of the
are we
mushroom.
gonna go into that? Okay, let's get ready.
Are we getting ready? He's got a sound effect.
Stop its motion to make the check. The AC
Getting it set up. Get ready to dial in here.
So our friend Rob here, he has been hanging out with us, and he really has the best stories. He says he likes to listen to our stories, but Rob has the best stories. So maybe he'll come share one with us in a minute. Yeah.
Rob. Yeah.
there's always more.
You can have my microphone if you want. Thanks for hanging out with us.
Love to hear from you anytime. Another time too. Yeah, love that. Thank you for being here. Wake the farm up. Wake the farm up.
Look, we can do this together. There are 3 microphones, but we're not so close to them that we can't just all talk. Come sit by me. We'll do it. We can all 4 be together. We're adding it up. Yeah. Welcome, Rob. I wish I would round my applause. Thanks for coming up.
Oh, well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, Rob. How are you?
I'm great. How are you, Andy the Elf?
Yeah, you know. Feeling good. Yeah, I'm glad you popped up here to share. Like, you got some any like thoughts, feels, shares that you want to dive like right into?
Oh, I was...
Where like you get on a Elf and Elise like question adventure.
Oh, I just... I was enjoying your entertainment here. All the stories you were all making.
Awesome, yeah. Making connection, you know, sharing the stories. There's, you know, things that I learned when I was 7, you might not have learned until you were 11, but there's things that, you know, you might have learned when you were 5 that I'll never learn while I'm alive, and like, we just gotta roll with it and share the stories and feel those things from each other and grow. Let's grow.
For sure.
I like that statement earlier that you made, Elise, about the art always survives for generations.
It does.
Yes.
And we don't think about how I'm not saying we all don't have art in our own ways, but so often we move throughout our lives and we don't really put a whole lot of emphasis into the things that we create, right? Intention. We're back to intention again. You know, if these are the kind of things that are going to stay around and teach future generations about who we are we being intentional about the things that we want to share and create? Or are we trusting the universe to create things through us? That's my favorite take on it, you know. Maybe I am the universe creating, you know, and you get to just sort of open yourself up to that flow of the universe.
Flow.
Yeah.
Flow.
What's the coolest thing that you guys have ever created? Besides, okay, everyone's gonna say their children. That doesn't count. So besides your children, what is the coolest thing that you've ever created?
This Halloween costume for my children. No, it could be.
I haven't. I haven't created anything material.
You've created things. You have to think harder.
But
I know there's got to be something in your life. Like if you want to go back and say, listen,
Microsoft Excel.
Okay, Excel spreadsheets. Right. He's an accountant, guys. So,
You made some
I've seen some beautiful spreadsheets in my time. So,
Yeah, like
I'm telling you, it is an art.
spread them out
It
in
really
front of
is.
us. Tell us about them. You know? We ain't skipping this.
That's my job. I've created really cool sheets,
Yeah.
but I never felt proud or happy about it.
Okay. So, what are you proud? What are you most proud of besides your family and your children?
I travel a lot.
Yeah, or what's maybe not
I
most,
inspired
but
a
yeah,
lot
let's
of
go.
other people, my friends.
Yeah.
They say, "Hey, we need to do that."
Yeah.
And then when I did traveling, see the world, meet the people, and I see a lot of my friends doing the same, and they say that's very inspiring. And for example, like this is March, right? So in like 3 weeks, I'm going to Spain, and I'm meeting a lot of my friends from. There's one from Scotland, one from England, one from India, and me, and we're just meeting and doing stuff. And
That's
a
co-creation.
lot of them just got inspired. They say, "Hey, we want to travel."
Pick a place. We'll meet you there.
And
that,
you know,
that's a good segue to some Rod stories here. Like Rod picks places and goes, and has been sharing a little bit about that. Like you don't have to dive deep into it, but that's you've been getting to see some parts of the world and spending time working on yourself. I feel too, like in ways that are very inspiring. Yeah.
I'm going to deviate from that just a bit because I
love
was
it.
thinking
Yeah, no
about
worries.
He was thinking about the creation question first. We
Yeah,
just moved
yeah, let's
on.
go,
But I do
yeah.
also want to hear what's the coolest thing you've created or you're most proud of through your journeys or anywhere you've been.
Well, when I was first traveling, when I was younger, it was almost like my virgin experience. And I felt creative and I did a lot of poetry. My first time in Africa, and I loved writing poetry.
Yeah.
Now I don't do it anymore.
Why not? You should write a poem tonight.
I don't know, it's sort of like the skipping.
Yeah. You just kind of
Forgot
forget.
the skipping. But,
So tonight after podcast, you should skip just a little bit. Maybe actually you wait till light out if you want, so you don't trip on any like
tree
roots.
roots.
Yeah. But you could skip over to have a cup of coffee in the morning, and then
you could snip
go
over
sit.
to have a little toffee if you're feeling.
Yeah, that as well, and then write a poem and share it with us tomorrow.
And you'll know them, and we'll feel it. And no sorrow. I'm making poetry right now We're riffing off. I'm ripping off of your words, and then making a poetic. It's I don't know. It's fun to just write poems that you don't even actually write down, but then they just disappear in the breeze, right? It's okay. It's fun. There's not a wrong way. I actually have a short here poem, about the wrong way. Does anybody think about the wrong way ever? Like the left hand or the other ways. It's I like this concept that there's no wrong way, and if there is, that's wrong.
Can I say one thing? And
Yes.
please, you can correct me if I'm wrong. But I'm just speaking your heart, and I'm speaking your heart in the sense, if I may be wrong, but I understand what a traveler's heart is. I think the biggest thing, what I have created, when you ask the coolest thing, is when I did something which made someone else think I need to travel as well, and I need to see this part of the world.
You
Because
Inspired them.
yeah, you inspire. And a lot of people on this planet, I feel so sorry. It's like they have everything in their hands, the power, they can do that.
Yeah.
Something is stopping them.
It's all in our brains,
It's in
right?
our brain.
You and I were talking about this
Yeah,
earlier.
but then people like,
He knows he can do it because he bought a plane ticket and decided to figure out what was next.
so
right?
that's what, like, there's always a push, like,
or a call.
yeah, or like,
One way or another. So what about you? What is the coolest thing that you've ever created?
was it on?
No, you were.
Well, I was kind of feeling very adventurous one day. So, I felt like this urge to want to live out in the wilderness.
Yeah.
So I asked my dad, "Can I get your hatchet?" So he says yes, and I get my dad's hatchet, and I start cutting down little branches and different things, and then I put them all together across a little tree that was in my yard, and then built it up into a teepee shape, and I made a little teepee, and it's still there today.
Cool.
It made it through hurricane,
Nice.
and I'm really glad.
That's some great engineering skills.
Yeah. I just literally I was trying to make it stronger, so I just got some wet mud and just.
That is really great for that. So have you ever studied or has anyone ever taught you about building outdoor structures like that in the forest, or you just did this all,
Well, I've kind of seen in books and stuff how to build structures. So I guess it was kind of instinct being taught from my family members and reading from books. I can't really say where I got this skill from, but I just know that I just had the urge to build. So
yeah, sometimes you have to listen to that, and then it's just your intuition.
I'm really intrigued by it. I like connecting it with nature and touching the materials of it and creating structures and spaces and stuff. So I'm fascinated. Will you share with us your some of your feels and connections with nature when you're working with clay and mud and creating things?
Actually, a few years back, I was not a nature person at all. Nature wasn't my thing. Mud, leaves always getting in my hair, sweating constantly when going on hikes. Bugs are just not my thing. I like butterflies, dragonflies, other things like that, but I am not for wasps and bees and other bugs
Spiders.
and spiders. Yeah.
You would what do you mean you're not for them? You don't represent them in Congress or something, but you would represent the butterflies and.
No, I mean when I wasn't for them, I mean when I mean I wasn't for them, not I didn't like them. I was terrified of them. Anytime one came around, it was immediately hide under a blanket or hide behind something. It was the killer thriller kind of scary for me, I guess.
So what changed your mind?
My mom's compassionate thoughts for nature and just reading about nature, about how good and peaceful nature can be. And once I really started getting to know nature and its
It was calling you.
greatest, then I knew it was a connection almost.
Connection.
I always say that to people too. If they don't know, just go. I don't have the answer for you. Your answer is inside of yourself. But if you go sit in nature, you'll find some answers. It calls you, and you'll remember that you are nature.
Nature always have the answers hanging around. You just need to understand those.
And learn how to listen. And sometimes it's not just the things you hear; it's the things you feel. and the universe gives it to you in your own little special way that only you know how to decipher.
And there's one more thing, if I may add.
Okay.
It's like a traveler, a person who travels around, you know, he's enjoying, he's seeing the world, he's traveling. But you know, I think a true traveler's person is, when he's traveling, he wants the world to travel with him.
Right.
And
Well, and there are different kinds of travelers
What
too.
do you mean by that? He wants the world to travel with him? What do you mean by
what I'm
that?
saying is like, if there's someone who is traveling, he wishes that what he's watching, what he's experiencing in that travel, that life, he wishes a true traveler. What I'm saying is, and
Like he wants to share it with everyone else.
he wants the whole world to experience that joy.
Not just to keep it for yourself, but to share it
experience,
so that other people can
He
experience.
wants everyone, every human being,
Yeah.
to travel. And,
Because there's something you get from that, you know. Even if you go, you know, some people like to travel and will just travel to cities, right? You travel all over and you go to a city here and there. But I think what you get from like the different parts of the world and different landscapes are even that's even better.
Let me like just take it as an example. I'm a traveler. I'm traveling. I'm seeing a beautiful part of this planet, and I'm just enjoying it, and I'm just mesmerized with the beauty of that nature.
Yeah.
What I always think is that I wish the whole world gets to see that.
But you can
what
share
I'm
it.
seeing it. And, I can share it, I can tell it, but it can never be as equivalent as someone just seeing it,
Right.
If I'm seeing it, I want the whole world to see that how beautiful this planet is, how beautiful the people are. And I want everyone, I cannot tell them. I want them to see it
To see for themselves.
And I think that's always been in my heart. Whenever I see something which is very beautiful, and I say, I wish the whole world sees it, sees.
I think it would
This
be
thing-
better for humanity.
And and then I think that we as humans can realize that what stupid things we are fighting for.
Right.
We can be. You have traveled more than me, isn't it? I might be wrong, but that's my experience. But
Yeah, we are elves and we got sharp ears here. We're listening, man. We're following you.
where was
Sharp ears. Sharpen those ears.
So, in what part of the world will you find the most
Elves. The most? Yeah, the most.
elves?
See, you don't find elves, they find you.
Well, okay, so where do you think is the biggest concentration of elves in the world?
Oh, we don't camp like that.
So they're all spread out, like not together.
They're always exactly right where they need to be. And they're never late, they're never early, they're never too far right, never too far left, never too far in the middle.
You would find elves mostly in Scotland because Scottish people came up with Saint Patrick and the little goblin elf guy at the end of the rainbow with the pot of gold.
I don't know. I don't really actually know the history or the relationship between leprechauns and elves. But
There's elves and so it's
I've
like
heard
okay,
people
I'll give
say
you
they've seen
elf.
them in trees.
Yeah, I'll I'll get real for a second. Yeah, there's elves of all sorts all over the world. There's the duende, there's the manahune, there's little people, there's the wee folk, there's the fae people, the fairies, the elves, the trolls, the gnomes, all the centaurs, the unicorns, all the things. You know, unicorns, they don't care if you believe in them as much as you are worried about if a unicorn believes if you exist, right? You know, it's there, you know, and they're just flowing, and like some people see them and call them different things. They might see them as like an angel maybe, or as an alien, or whatever they feel like their imagination allows them to believe that it is.
Whatever
And
you believe is
that's like there's I mean, it's not just whatever you believe that is true, but there is like a certain thing to that. Like, you know, if you really strongly believe in a certain thing, it'll manifest. It'll be your call, you draw to it. So all of these things can, you know, be, you know, but yeah, there are certain delusions you got to filter through and, you know, like have fun with it, you know, and like sorting out what isn't, you know, is this really an elf that just tripped me, or was it this tree? Who knows, you know, which one feels better, you know, like the little elf came out and pulled on the root and made you trip over and slow down a little bit. Either way, the main message got through to slow down, right?
It's like the dragons.
So,
I mean, dragons are fascinating. Sometimes, yeah, like dragons, like when you see trees part ways in the forest, you know, a dragon has passed. There's canopy dragons. There's dragons that live in the soil. There's dragons, all kinds of things. And, you know, like they don't all have taxonomical names and haven't been like sorted out yet. You know, it's the same as like a lot of our more physical plane ones that we come across and can see. But there's starting to be more sightings of eastern hardwood giraffes even. They're kind of like a greenish yellow tone, and they have a really keen sense of smell. Their smell sensor goes all the way down. This is fiction. All the way down their necks, you know, and you know, they can smell when they're close. And I was able to see one last year in the fall when they were during their migration season, because I hadn't had a shower in 3.5 months. Like, they didn't smell me. I just totally smelled like the forest. I just rolled around in like, you know, the hummus of the forest and crinkled leaves in my armpits when I needed a little exfoliation. And they're, you know, like I got to see some of these giraffes. They're tall and slender. They kind of hide in like tall, slender trees.
So they're
this
green.
is fiction.
They're green. What color are their spots?
Their spots are kind of like the classic giraffe pattern, you know, of like the other, you know, giraffes, and there's like this light green tone to the electric part in between the tones, you know, that the dendritic pattern shapes around the little patches that they have. Have you guys seen giraffes like out on your adventures?
yeah.
Rod, how about you? Have you ever come across or traveled on the back of a giraffe or anything like that?
Or stayed at a giraffe hotel?
I wish.
Me too.
Like, oh yeah, we fed one at a zoo once.
I tell you one more. It's a. I promise
there
this is
giraffes
my
involved?
last story. And
No,
my
you don't
wife
have to
knows
promise
it.
that.
He's going to tell us about his giraffe experience. I used to love giraffes. They're my favorite animal.
So
I mean, I still love them, but they're like, I don't know if there's my favorite now. There's
I like
so
how
many
they
amazing
eat.
animals. Like, how do you have a favorite? I don't know.
I like
Elves?
Fox.
I like how giraffes eat. They're very inspirational. You know, like when you're walking past a tree that has edible leaves and your hands are full, like maybe you got some really good books that you want to read, but this tree's there, you know, so you just go giraffe on the tree and you bite it. Like,
Just reach over and get some.
hands-free meals, instant drive-by.
So tell us about your giraffe
Drive-through.
experience.
not the giraffe, but the elf.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We love elfin.
Yeah, man, tell us that.
I'm talking about, this is 2025, so that's 2021,
Okay.
December, Christmas time. We decided to go on like a Pacific Highway one, you know, like
Yeah, up and down the coast.
California place. And my kids, they were like, hey, where's the elf? Where's the elf?
Oh, did it go on a trip with you?
Yeah, they were with us. We were in a RV,
Okay, yeah,
and we
yeah.
were just camping around.
Cool.
And
Yeah.
so my wife said, there's an elf, and we need to do something about an elf. And we need to, the elf has to move, and So I said, okay, we were in the middle of nowhere in California with orange groves.
Hold on, wait. Like you guys decided that the elf has to move, like you wouldn't just let the elves move you would tell them how to move, like be like, all right, it's time to do some breakdancing, guys, and then they would just start breakdancing.
Yeah,
Our elf used to break dance all the time.
So shelf on the elf?
Is
Yeah,
it
the
Miss
shelf-
Elf on the shelf?
Elf on the shelf?
Shelf on
So
Put that shelf on the
they said, they need to have, and then they need to have a Christmas gift from Santa. And we were in RV. We were just, driving from Northern California all the way to San Diego. And, something which
like
moved.
You were driving all the way there.
Yeah.
The elf went with you the whole way.
No, but my wife said
The elf didn't take a turn driving.
no.
Like he was just like freeloaded, like getting a free ride.
It was
like,
just me driving, and
Yeah.
my wife said, "Listen, the kids will be devastated if they don't have a Christmas gift, something from the Santa, and we being Indian, I'm just telling how beautiful the culture of this country is." So we stopped by at a gas station. The gas station was owned by Arabs. So an Indian got into a gas station which was owned by Arabs. I think they were from Yemen. And
Yemen.
Yemen.
Yeah, and we bought like the gifts, Christmas gifts, and we just got it into the RV. The elf got this or the Santa, and I was like, can you just? I mean, if you just get into that thing, like the culture, the beauty about it, and an Arab selling Christmas gifts to an Indian. So and my kids were happy, and we were like, okay. And my daughter, the middle one, I think she was small that time, and she was like, "Dad, the elf moved. The elf moved. I saw the elf move." And then she was like, "Did I misbehave because elf moved?" But these are the kind of
That's what makes them move. No wonder I've been misbehaved.
Well, and you can't touch them, right? So
Yeah,
you
you
can't
cannot
your
touch
elf,
them. Yeah, you
or
cannot
they lose
touch
their
them.
magic. So
Yeah.
my daughter always used to move
Yeah.
hers. Like she would go to the kitchen and get some long tongs so she could move it without actually touching it.
Oh wow!
But
so that she could set it somewhere she
contaminate
wanted.
Yeah, you cannot touch them, but they're always. America
They're
is always
mischievous.
good in creating a version. If the elf moves, that means you misbehave.
You're in trouble.
You are in trouble.
Wait,
So
no.
my daughter was like, "Did I misbehave?" We were like very good kids, and so
I think they just move because they're mischievous and they like to make mischief around
Yeah,
whenever you want.
a family member of mine told me that one of their elves had I don't remember this exactly, but I'm pretty sure they said that they glitter bombed their room once or something like that.
I would be really angry at that.
The elves
But
did.
yeah, but I don't.
They would.
But
Our elves did some
I'm
glitter
not
stuff.
sure. Take this with a grain of salt because I don't exactly. Salt's very tasty. Yes.
Maybe a
I-
sprinkle of sugar. Honey drip.
Maybe.
Wait, what are we talking about? I'm getting
Elves.
this
Elves.
salt. and
We're talking
honey.
about elves.
Yeah.
Glitter bomb.
Yeah, I'm elf in this
Glitter.
conversation again, aren't I? So where's the salt go? Like you
forest.
She
sprinkle
just said
it-
it's a grain of salt because
Because
You have to take it with a
I
grain.
can't.
you sprinkle the salt on the elf,
it's glitter
yeah.
salt.
or you take it.
What if your
You take
elf
the salt.
turned
I'm elf
your
in this.
salt into glitter in the
And
salt
then
shaker?
and then you
then you sprinkle
and
it.
then you're gonna use
Please
it on
don't
your
teach
omelet,
them.
'cause I love
That's
omelet.
They have a glittery omelet. That would be terrible.
And then I put hot sauce on the glitter because the glitter is the salt. And I eat it, and I'm like, this salt tastes
Sparkly.
That makes sense. It all makes sense to me.
Our elf
I
one
get
time.
the computations of that and like the literal alignment and like just like I don't know. I got like at least 6 or 7 different figures that are coming to mind that I'm gonna have to draw later for that.
Yeah. So our elf one time like got some glitter and like dumped it all over the counter and made like snow angels in the glitter. That was a mess. And then one time our elf like changed out the Lucky Charms for all marshmallows. Like all of the cereal was gone. And only marshmallows left. And then one time it kidnapped one of the Barbie dolls and then was when we walked in the morning, it was hanging upside down under the mistletoe kissing one of the Barbie dolls. It was a whole scene.
What?
It's crazy.
Okay, so
He's so
they were
mischievous.
going on a date, I
You're
guess.
not allowed to touch
I guess
Barbie
so.
dolls either.
It was the mistletoe hanging. We all know what happened.
It was because of the mistletoe, right? But I mean, you can't trust an elf sometimes, especially when they're ready to be silly.
They're too mischievous. Me and my dad, I'm like, Dad, can we please get an elf? And he's like, no. I'm like, why? And he's like, you can buy them with your own money, but I'm not getting an elf. Like, why? He won't tell me why.
You're selling elves?
You know what's better?
Yeah,
you know
they
what's
sell
better to
elves.
me than elves?
They sell the elves in the Target.
That's what happened with the holiday.
Yeah, in the
$70.
Target.
I mean, the elves are crazy, but you know what I'm a fan of?
They make
other
really
than
good
the elves?
tops.
Like, if instead of doing an elf, like, I also heard that some people, if they have a lot of like cool toy dinosaurs, in the month of November, they all come alive and do mischief too for Dinovember. And I am a fan of Dinovember.
Dinovember? What's Dinovember?
Okay.
Like, do you go dining?
I'm leaving the chat now.
Thank you for sharing your connections with nature. Stories wonderful.
Well, this has been a fun conversation about travels and elves and forest intentions and performance art.
Yeah, thank you guys. Do you guys have anything else you'd love to like? I know you here, Mike 3 Dawn. I'm messing with you, brother. Do you have anything you want to share about nature?
Love the forest.
It's been fun. This is a really good forest experience. And every time you come to the forest, this is the most magical thing about. Okay, there's so many magical things. So how do you say what is the most magical? But to me, it's always about the universe conspires to bring the right energy together here, right? And you always find exactly what you need when you're here. And no matter how many times you try to explain it to somebody else or tell them why they need to visit the forest or what they're gonna love about the forest here, it's never the same thing. You just have to trust the universe to bring it to them and to bring it to you. So I'm happy to get to meet you guys here.
Wait to farm up. It was a fun session down here. It's still February 2025, I think.
Thanks to our wonderful host.
Yeah. Some
Thanks,
archive
Andy.
documentation.
Yes.
Appreciate you guys. Let's get a flow together.